Well, good morning, everyone. Tammy Melchisedeck here. It is so good to see everyone on the IPA. Boy, I am reminded again what a valuable tool this is and how important it is to get on this chat every morning to grow your business. And so many people are hitting these huge pin ranks. And I know a lot of us go, how in the world did that happen? I'm working my business so hard. And you're wondering, how does that work? How can someone actually hit senior officer when you have just started in the business, or maybe you've been in the business for a couple of years and you're still not at that point? I'm going to encourage you today that there is a way, and tenacity is the way. Never giving up, continuing to press on. And no matter what, to continue to do the income producing activity that will get you there. That's the key, right? The income producing activity, not busy work, but the things that actually get you to your goals. And so this morning, I have the privilege to introduce to you someone that does not need introduction on this IPA because she is so incredibly loved. She is a woman that has poured out to all of you for the last year and a half. She shows up so faithfully to this IPA every morning. And while she was watching other people hit pin ranks, she was working hard to hit her pin rank, and she had to work hard, like really hard. And so sometimes I think we see people just hit these ranks and we think that could never be me. But what we have to understand is that tenacity, discipline, doing the income producing activity will get you there. And so, first of all, can I get some congratulations in the chat for the amazing Brenda Carlton for hitting senior officer? Woohoo! I mean to tell you, I don't think it is deserved by anybody any more than it is this lady, because I know what she went through to get this. I know the tenacity. I know the focus it took for her to do this. And so, first of all, Brenda, congratulations.
Thank you, Tammy.
How do you feel this morning about all this?
I'm still on a high, for the first, I don't know, a couple hours. I was probably numb when it happened. But yeah, I'm still on a high.
I'll tell you, you weren't numb, you were crying. So I'll just remind
Yes.
you, you were not numb. You were actually crying when I called you. And I said, oh my gosh, Brenda, it's done. And that was the most exciting moment. One of the things I think we have to understand in our business is that when we build a team, I know people say this, but it's absolutely the truth. When someone in your organization hits their pin ranks, especially these high ones that are very hard to get, it's like a mother. I always say this. I feel like I'm a mother to my team, not just a mentor. And the difference between being a mentor and a mother is this. A mentor wants, you want to give a mentor teaches what they know, but a mother wants more for her child than she has for herself, right? That's the difference. So I always say I feel like I'm a mother to my team, not just a mentor, because I want more for them than I have even achieved for myself. And that has been true with you, Brenda. So give us a few tips. Tell us about overcoming, talk about tenacity, talk about what it actually takes to do this in this business.
Well, thank you, Tammy. And first of all, I just have to say, y'all all know what a great team I'm on. When you have MOA, which means mother of all to us, and then Julie Park, who's an absolute machine, you're sitting in a pretty good position to accomplish whatever you want. So that's first of all. But I just have to say thank you to my Lord and Savior. I mean, every morning I get up and I thank God when before I put my feet on the floor. What an amazing life I have. I love this company. But when I first came in, not even understanding what all was here, could happen, once I went to PXP, once I was around the company, was around the people, I saw the vision. And some of you know that I've been in this industry for 23 years. And so here it came again because I thought, well, I'm done. Oh my gosh. But when God began to give me vision and I began to see what was possible, I was like, I want that. And so, first of all, I just have to say, you have to have vision. You have to see it. And y'all, I really hit officer in 4 months. And it just happened because I knew a lot of people and went to work. But senior officer was a little more difficult. And so, but first of all, it starts with you have to see it. But I have to say kudos to my husband. He is my biggest cheerleader. He sees himself as the bus driver getting the coach to getting the quarterback to the game. And so that is the way he's always saw himself. He's my supporter. He takes care of all the things behind the scene so that I can work, so that I can accomplish our goal. We set goals. And so number one, you have to make a decision. And when you get close to something like senior officer, you better get it done. I mean, it's just like, get it done. And so,
how many times did we say that to you? Get
it done.
Just get
okay. So how does that happen? It means get in the trenches. It means pick up the phone. It means reach out. It means having those uncomfortable conversations because you have to get it done. And so we are get or done people. We always have been. And so we know that whatever it takes, we will get it done. And so it's bigger than Brenda and Larry Carlton. This is about a team. This is about helping people. This is about helping Partner Co. become a multi-billion-dollar company. And I declared I would be a part of that happening. You have to know how much I love this company. This company is a gift. This company is a dream come true. This company is a solution for every need anybody's got out there. You just have to say yes, and you have to get in there and help and lead people to where it benefits them. So we have to cast vision to people. So that's what I did. The other thing that I would say is I have to say how grateful I am to Crossline. Our mentor, Brent Palmer, coined the term blurring the lines of sponsorship. You have to know we are a team. We are Team Partner Co. We have to rally together. We have to come together to help each other. Encouragement is the absolute biggest key. And when somebody locks arms with you just to cheer you on, and I can't express my gratitude for my sisters that called me and said, you can do this. Come on, get up. Because there was a moment you get a little discouraged when you think it's not going to happen. But you've got people that say, no, we're going to do this. We're going to cheer you on. Okay, what about this? And what about that? And they start giving you tips and tricks and, just ideas to maybe word choices. And then it was done. And I have to praise God for Kevin Coda. I love Kevin Coda.
Oh my goodness.
He is an absolute angel. And so working with Kevin, because when your numbers are getting right there, you just need that confirmation. And at 6:19 on Friday.
What time? Do you remember the time, Brenda?
Kevin texted and said, it's done. So it wasn't that I came in by the skin of my teeth, at the end of the night, but it was 6:19, it was done. And I really have to say, I was still numb because I was really looking, oh my God, did it really happen? And then a little bit later, when the post went out and Cynthia Bolden, everybody's biggest cheerleader, called me to say, congratulations. And she began to declare the word of God over me. And then I lost it. And so you just have to remember there's no I in team. We all know that. None of this is possible. None of you having what you have is possible with just yourself. We must have a team. And we must be a team player. So team, I am grateful for you. This would not be possible without you. Thank you for all that you've done to support me. Thank you to every one of you on this call. I love you so much. You have no idea how much I love you. and how much I love this company and where we're going to make our mark on this earth. Thank you.
Absolutely. Brenda, so incredible. Like, I hope you get to read all these comments in the chat. I'm over here listening to you, but reading endless comments of the inspiration that you bring to people and the encouragement. You know, the core word to the word encouragement is courage. And I think that's one of the things that we do in our business is that we bring courage to people when they get started. They don't have the courage. They don't have the courage to post. They don't have the courage for most people. When they start in this business, they're lacking the courage it takes to do the income producing activities. That's our job. Our job is to bring the courage. So I want to really quickly go back to uh, something that all of us can take and apply to our businesses today. And of course, you know this about me, Brenda, because I trained you in this business. And one of the things that I go back to over and over, we can have all these tools. In fact, I would say the tools are great, but the tools have never made me the money, ever, ever, not one day, that when I sit down in front of someone and I get them started in the business. That has made me more money in this business is actually getting a new person started and teaching them the system and walking them through, giving them the courage. So, Brenda, let's talk about that for a minute because you came to a drop talk, you heard, you approached me. I didn't know who you were. I had no idea you had a background in network marketing. Except for you're a gorgeous silver-haired beauty. I mean, she's hard to miss in a crowd. Let's just be honest. And she came up to me. So, and then let's just really quickly walk through what were the steps I took you through that seemed, that were the most significant to get you started.
Well, coming from this industry and what had happened for us, I was a little gun shy. I was a little guarded. And so I needed some answers. And so when I approached Tammy that day, I told my daughter, I said, I'm not leaving until I talk to her. And so I needed to know who was at the helm of this company. What was the integrity? How long had it been around? And why hadn't I heard about it? This was my industry. And Tammy said, if you have more questions, she answered my questions that day. And she said, if you have more questions, reach out. I'll be happy to answer more questions. Well, that
To
thing
meet with you.
to meet
I
with me.
said, I want to meet with you
Yes.
personally. Remember? Okay, keep
Yeah.
going.
And so at first I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do this again. That's how I left. But I couldn't put that thing to rest. It churned in me the next 24 hours. And I did reach out to her the next day and said, I need to meet with you. And so we
Yep.
scheduled the appointment. And when I showed up, Tammy had products for me to try. She answered all of my questions. And the things that she said were golden nuggets to me. They pierced my heart. They pierced my soul. I knew what she was talking about, and I valued that, first of all. And so I know in a few, it was a couple hours. I'm just going to say, we're girls. We have a lot to talk about. We use our words. And then Tammy said, go put some lipstick on. We're going to take a picture. And I said, for what? And she said, we're going to make a post. And I said, oh, no, 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 no. I do not do social media. I am a stalker. I just look at people.
Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I want to tell you something. If you have a pen and a piece of paper or pencil, write this down. Buyers are liars. So she was already buying the product. I don't even listen. I do not, I promise you. If you have been trained in my organization, I don't listen to your objections. I don't listen to them because buyers are liars. I knew at that moment her daughter had had a huge result with those drops. All it took was me to give her the courage. So I want to back it up really quickly because I'm very practical in how I train. We sat down, we downloaded the boards to her phone. I helped her do it. People, understand this. Did it take me an hour and a half to do this with Brenda? But Brenda, she's a chatty one, so it probably took a little longer than most of the time. I can usually do it in an hour. But we downloaded those boards and then we practiced. I practice with people. I say, what are the drops? And I show them, go into your phone, find the answer for what are the drops. And then they send it to me. And then I say, the video, send it to me, and Crystal, send it to me, and then I send back how much do they cost, and then they have to find it in their boards and they have to send it to me. People understand this seems so routine to you now, but a new person, it is not routine to. And unless they are confident to do that step, hear me in this. Unless they are confident to do that, they will not be successful. They will not make money, and you will lose them inside your organization. I cannot stress this enough. I hear so many fabulous ideas. I hear the content coming from, there's so much right now that we can pull from. But I am promising you, the moment that hour and a half I spend with Brenda Carlton, the hour and a half I spent with Julie Park, do you know how much money that hour and a half has been? So if somebody said to me, how much money did you make per hour? I'm still making money per hour on these teams. So please understand, yes, it takes time. Is it the most important thing you do? It's the most important thing you do. Post 9 and 3, get someone like Brenda to an event to see what's happening, then get her in front of you. If they're not living in your community, then get them on a Zoom. But if they are in your community, take the time to meet with people, because within no time, she hit officer in it was 3.5 months. She hit officer inside of this company. Did I know that when I trained her? Absolutely not. Did I train her just like I do everyone? Absolutely. It was up to her to take the tool. And we went outside on my deck. I live in a beautiful area in Colorado Springs. I think you know who's on my team because you see them on my deck with the drops. I keep a spare set of drops, folks. In fact, every set of drops that I use, I keep, because I give my newest person, before they even get their drops out my door, they take a set of drops with them. Why? Because I took 4, 5, 10 pictures of them. I said, I want you using these in your posts. I want for people to see what these things are. It will create interest for people to say, what are those drops? Well, if they don't have them, I mean, Diana Wilson, by the way, Williams, she just hit senior officer this morning, which is, we're going to talk about that later. But I drove up to Castle Rock and I gave her a set of empty drops. And I said, the most important thing you do is post a picture of yourself. And I'm going to send you the copy. And I don't know what boards, I know people use all kinds of different boards, but in our boards, we have your very first post. We have the script, right, Brenda? We have the script. I'm kicking midlife to the curb. Now, that doesn't work if you're 25, but if you're over 45, you can say you're kicking midlife to the curb. And then post it for them. Show them how to post it. And then, Brenda, you were in there objecting constantly to me. I'll just tell you right now, you were objecting constantly to me. But you did it. You did it. And you were teachable. And you said, okay, I'm going to do this. And you did it. And by the time you left my front door, what happened?
By the time I left Tammy's and drove up in my driveway, 9 people had hit that post. Within 30 minutes, 15 people. I didn't even have drops yet. My drops arrived the next day, and in less than 2 hours, I sold 3 of the 4 boxes, had all my money back. Okay, get that part. She put money in my pocket. Now, I wasn't looking for the money, but the money happened. But there's many people that are. So get that. What she did produced money. You have to understand, we have such a system of growth. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, just do it. Just be teachable, coachable, and trainable, and it'll work for you too.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach Todd.
Hey, Tammy. So just want to reiterate that Tammy Maltby, one of our very top earners, like the number one thing she's saying is she slows down and gets a new person started, helps them post, gives them confidence, helps them cover all of their objections. Like that's the hugest nugget, because some of us run so fast, we never get our people started correctly. So we're slamming all these people in, but nobody's really doing anything. And then number 2, for those that don't understand senior officer, that's just shy of 200,000 a year with our company if you do it weekly, and it's about 250 up in Canada with a transfer of money up there a year. So congratulations, Brenda. But one of the things that is the unwritten success that I see all of the time. So I'm going to say it out loud. Sometimes when I say things like this, it can come across the wrong way, but you are going to attract people based upon how you carry yourself and how you speak, your confidence level, the way you dress. Everybody knows I'm not the best dresser, so take all that with a grain of salt. But you have to walk in the room with posture, and you have to walk in the room with confidence, or you're never going to get somebody good in your business. So Brenda showed up on her very first IPAs, just like she is today. Before anybody knew her name, we all knew who she was. And she lives on Mountain Time. So Brenda's 70, so she wakes up every morning, she showers, she does her hair, she puts her nice clothes on. And Brenda, you mentioned that one day that you treat this like a business. You show up every morning as if you're going to work.
That's correct. We have to implement good habits. And so I learned a long time ago. And so I remember, Todd, the first time you asked me that, and I wasn't really sure how to answer that because that's who I am. Years ago, I mean, when I worked in corporate America, I got up every morning, I did my hair, my makeup, got dressed, and I went to work. And so in this business, when you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby.
Yes, absolutely. And the consistency also. Thank you, Todd, for that. I think in our business, we look for the big things, right? We look for the ta-da, that's how they did it. Ta-da, that's how they did it. I am here to suggest to you that the way you do it is that you get in front of people and present. You present. I built my whole business. I'm at a CEO level. I built my whole business 12 years ago. We didn't do social media. There was no 9 and 3. I was trained by a mentor that said, you have to know the color of the carpet of the person that you're working with. You have to know the names of their kids. You have to get in the trenches with people, because it's easy to be up here and look down, right? Oh, you hit this high level. Now we just look down. No way. Your business will not continue to grow if you don't get into the trenches with people. And also, one more thing I want to suggest: humble yourself. Be humble when you're with people. Understand they don't know what you know. They do not know what you know. You know a lot. They don't know that yet, but they will. And the more patient you are, the more long suffering. I just trained 4 70-year-old women at my house. 4 of them, they sat around my kitchen table. And for the first, they all sat down and started whining and complaining how they don't do social media and they don't understand this and they, all that thing, right? You know what put a 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, those objections right out of the gate. And so I put a timer on and they saw me do it. I said, I'm going to put a timer on. Okay, you have 1 minute. I told them, I said, you have 1 minute. I said, do you want to make money or do you want to make excuses? Because my time is important. So I will train you. I will show you how to do this, but I do not want to hear any more complaining from you get 1 minute and then you're over. And if you continue, then you're not here at the table. And they all looked at me like, I thought she was a nice lady. And I'm like, I am. But also, here's the thing. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. Spend it on people that want to be lifelong learners. My team has heard me say this a million times. We choose to be lifelong learners. We choose to learn new things that we do not know. We choose to let our brain absorb things that will take us to the next level. I don't want to live on Social Security, folks. Anybody here want to live on Social Security? I don't. I want to have a lot to be generous with. I want to have a lot to help my children and my 7 grandsons. Like, I have a huge why in what I do. So when you are training someone, be patient with them. Understand they don't know what you know, but also realize if you set them up correctly, you download the boards, you role play with them, you get a good camera, get a good app. I'll tell you, the one app that I love is called Lensa. And it is, and I encourage you all to find one. It doesn't have to be this. It's Lensa. I use a Lensa app. In fact, Brenda said, that's the best picture that's ever been taken of me in my whole life.
We all think she has fairy dust in her camera.
But you think women want a bad picture of themselves on social media talking about weight? See, we got to get into the heads of people that are sitting in front of us. We have to understand that a woman that is posting a picture of herself heavy, she's not where she wants to be. We've got to help her feel so good about that. And when we do, she's going to put that on social media and she's going to be afraid to do it. But she'll do it. Why? Because you're right there saying, good job. And then you get them boosting their posts, right? We know how to do that. We teach our team how to boost posts. And you get all these teams. We have something called dream chats. And we get into our dream chats and we say, okay, new brand partner. I want everybody over here. We need everybody over here. And all of a sudden, yes, it was me to do it one-on-one. But then, Brenda, look what happened. You came into a family. And now look at where she is today. So I just encourage people, when you have a brand new person, if you look back at the last 10 or 20 people that you've enrolled, how many of those people are actually with you today? How many of those people did you actually train and teach? That'll show you exactly the system and the magic to this business. It's really simple. You do have to slow down to speed up. You have to take the time. And when you do, you get to announce a new senior officer in the business. So, Todd, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
You're muted, Todd.
Thank you, Tammy. You're one of the best trainers in the company. Thank you for all your wisdom this morning. And Brenda, congratulations for making senior officer. And we all thank you so much for always showing up here and showing us all how to do the IPA the right way. You motivate me every morning. We got 5 minutes left, Brenda, for you to run around the horn and see what all happened yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Todd. And I just want to say one more thing about this. If you're new on here or if you're a veteran, please, please, please make a decision to give this a 2-year commitment. If you started a new job, you would need a commitment. You would need training. If you were going to college, you would have to learn your skill, and then you're going to have to implement that. So please, 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 if you're new, give it 2 years and don't even entertain the fact that this is not going to work or you're not going to be here. Make a commitment because this will change everything. Okay, Tammy, do you have anything else before we answer a couple of questions? Or
No, I'm gonna take myself off camera, but I love you, Brenda. I love you to the moon. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for pouring into all of us. You pour into me and everyone on this chat. And we just want to thank you so much.
Thank you. I love it. Okay, this is our